Hi, my name is Roisin Sugrue and I'm a student in Mercy Mount Talk for their YSI class Sunny Souls. I'm here today with Kate Shaughnessy, who is a current Cork Rose.
Hi.
Can you tell us a bit about your job?
So I work in Cork in a nursing home as a care coordinator. So my job is basically I look after the residents who live in the nursing home in a non kind of clinical way. So I look after all of their needs and make sure they feel at home in the nursing home.
Can you tell me why you chose to do this job?
I chose to work in a nursing home because I love looking after people. I love working with the elderly. I find it very rewarding. I've always had a very kind of caring nature, and I always wanted to do something in, say, a caring field. And I kind of just fell into working in nursing homes after I did my degree and after I finished secondary school. And I just love it.
Do you like working with elderly people?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I definitely do. I suppose it's very rewarding. You feel like you have a lot of nanas and granddads, and I suppose there's every day is different, and it's really nice to go in and see their faces and know that you're making a difference to them. So yeah, I definitely do like working with the elderly.
Has working in this job made you more likely to visit your grandparents?
Yeah, I suppose my grandmother lives here in Chile, and I always try and visit her anyway. But I suppose now that I have a more maybe insight into what it's like for people who are getting older and they were once like us, like 25, 16, and yeah, it would make me more likely to visit my grandmother for sure.
So, what would you say is the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part of my job is definitely, I suppose, when people don't have family, and we have to be their family. And I suppose COVID was very hard a couple of years ago when they couldn't see their families. Maybe for, I think the longest period they went without seeing their families was about 6 months. I worked in a huge nursing home at the time with 100 people, and I used to do all of their video calls and their window visits. And I suppose I worked a lot with people who have dementia, and it's very hard to explain to them why they can't go outside and about the virus and about how dangerous it is. So I'd say that was probably the hardest part.
Has working in this job made you realize that elderly people experience isolation?
Yeah, I do think they do experience isolation for sure. Like a lot of people would maybe get a visitor once a week, and it's a long 24 hours in a day. Um, I suppose from each other, like as you get older, I suppose a lot of their friends are kind of maybe passing away and they don't have people as able to visit them. And I suppose people have busy lives. So they definitely experience some level of isolation, especially in a nursing home, I suppose, because they're not out and about in the community. Um, they would be very lonely at times, yeah, for sure.
How do you switch off at night with all the emotions of your job?
I suppose I've worked in elderly care now for about 6 years, so I'm used to it. I'm used to the challenges that sometimes I'm faced with. But I suppose I try and say that they're not my grandparents and they're not my loved ones. I think I do have a job to do, and I suppose people's time does come when they do pass away and all that. But yeah, I definitely try and maybe you know, separate my life with their life as much as I can. I'm very soft and I am very attached to them, so that is hard for me, but I try and do it as best I can.
Can you tell me why you chose to do this job?
I chose to work in a nursing home because I love looking after people. I love working with the elderly. I find it very rewarding. I've always had a very kind of caring nature, and I always wanted to do something in, say, a caring field. And I kind of just fell into working in nursing homes after I did my degree and after I finished secondary school. And I just love it.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and visit us. It means a lot to our project.
Thank you so much for having me. I think your project is brilliant. I think it's going to make so much difference, and you should be so proud of yourselves.